to this day, we buy over 1,000 pounds of walnuts every year in the fall, and we give them as gifts to our partners in the wine trade. That means different wine shops and restaurants and distributors around the country who sell Trefethen wines get a little package in November with a cute little muslin bag of walnuts. It's become quite the tradition for us. We actually still have some great walnut trees on the property, including one which I've come to call the Good Husband tree. Because when they bought the property in 1968, Mr. Gene Trefethen and his wife Katie Trefethen, she said to him, well, you can replant this part over here, but don't cut down that tree. And he didn't cut down that tree. And it must have been a big tree at the time, because it's a huge tree. Now it's probably 100 years old. Some people think that it may actually be the original Hartley walnut tree. The Hartley walnut tree is known to come from Napa, known to come from this end of Big Ranch Road in Napa. And this is a pretty big, old tree. So we actually have someone coming up from the UC Extension Service this summer to take some samples and do some genetic analysis, see if we can verify that, which would be pretty exciting. To this day, we have planted vineyard around it. We have not planted, obviously not cut down the tree. We've left a lot of nice space for it to grow, well beyond the drip line. I mean, it is really a huge tree. How big would you say it is?
Oh, it's probably 150 feet in diameter, and
yeah, in terms of the strip. Yeah, it's huge. We had a party out there recently with our employees. We had 100 people sitting at tables enjoying dinner, and we didn't take up half of the shade.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Doesn't produce much walnuts anymore, but it's a majestic tree, and you can see that we've really maintained that legacy by leaving great space around it. It's a full acre of what would be prime vineyard land. It's actually a nice example of sort of trying to be responsible stewards of the land. And I can see that that walnut tree is not just beautiful and it adds to the scenery. It also is part of an important vineyard ecosystem that we're trying to cultivate. I see raptors hanging out in those trees every day. I've seen up to 4 or 5 red-tailed hawks at the same time hanging out in different parts of the tree, which is great because they're looking for rodents. And they're going to help me control pests in the vineyard. A lot of other things I do, like put up owl boxes, bat boxes to try to encourage natural predators in the vineyard, but there's something like a tree to attract wildlife. There's been for years an active bee colony in a cavity inside the tree, and I actually walked up once on a mama coyote and her pups who had made a den in the base of a tree, which is, I walked away pretty quickly. but it's a pretty neat tree. There's a lot of stories to it. So you can see walnuts are certainly something special for us here. So again, I'd like to raise a glass and say welcome, and may you enjoy your evening.
Thank you.